This happens to be a very exciting day for me, but ironically, it will probably be one of the least interesting videos in the entire series. What can you do? I try very hard in this video series to avoid what is known as the talking head, which is a video where somebody just sits and talks to you. There's no visual interest. There are no exciting cutaways. I try to bring in footage that's relevant, images that are relevant. Today, I just don't know. Sitting here recording this, I have no idea if I will be able to make this something that you actually want to watch all the way through. The one thing I'm trying is shooting it somewhere besides my office. I came out to a local park, but there's a bit of a breeze, so I don't know what that will do to the microphone. And there have already been several helicopters fly over as I've been setting up. I just have no idea what this video will be, but it's something that's been on my mind. And I think the closer I get to turning 50, the more I have spent being introspective, thinking about life and you know, the time I have left and what's really important. And so I want to talk to you today about something, the concept of motivation, the concept of why you're working out. And somewhere out there, I actually want to make a video all about motivation, how to stay motivated, how to, you know, from the little things like you're in the middle of a workout and you're losing steam. How do you get that last set done? And how do you talk through someone who's weeding a lawn with a weed whacker, you know, and an airplane going over? This is going to be. I want to take a look at the big picture of motivation. Why you're working on getting fit at all. And I really started thinking about this the more I noticed that on Instagram. I have an Instagram account for fitness, and I use that account to then follow anybody who's kind of motivating to me. They've got great pictures, they've got educational stuff. And I'm noticing that a lot of them, a common trend is they'll post a photo of them at the gym or flexing or whatever, and then there will be some motivational caption to go with it. It has nothing whatsoever to do with the photo, but they post the caption. One of the common themes is don't do this for anyone else, do it for yourself. So go to the gym, eat right, get that awesome body, that strong body, do it for you. And the more I look at life and the more I think about it, the more I can say that is just some of the worst advice that I can think to give someone. If you are in this, and really this applies to any part of life, but we're talking about fitness. If you are in this for nothing but yourself, that is an incredibly shallow life. That is a life that will leave you empty in the end. If you are working out to simply look great and feel great and get those likes on Instagram and TikTok and get people turning their heads at the gym and praising you up and down for your awesome physique, you are doomed to end your life with nothing. For one thing, your body is going to give up on you one day. There will come a day where you will no longer look awesome. No matter how hard you're trying in the gym, your testosterone will have gone down, your ability to build muscle will go down, your bones will be getting weaker, your skin will be getting older and sagging. You actually only, from what I understand, you even make that worse if you are trying to do this with steroids and other performance-enhancing drugs. You're going to reach a point where nobody's going to applaud your physique. your pictures on Instagram will scare people away instead of bringing them in. And at the end of your life, what will you have? For a brief period of time, you had a good-looking body. So what? Now, I will play fair. This is not me sitting here saying, how dare you, or how could you have ever been so stupid as to be so shallow and immature in your thinking? The primary reason that I first ever went to a gym was because I was tired of the way I looked. I wanted to look like the guys on workout magazine covers. I just wanted to look awesome. I was tired of being fat. I was tired of being self-conscious about it. I wanted a body that would have other people going, wow, you look good. But over time, and it really even didn't take much time, especially after I lost a bunch of weight in 2012 and felt so much better, I started to realize there are far more important reasons. When I had a child in 2005, it wasn't long before he was crawling and then walking and wanting to play things. Or just crawl around on his dad. Children are so easily pleased. Just lay down on the floor with your toddler and he will giggle and laugh and jump on you and crawl over you. You will become his home jungle gym. I learned really quickly that in my obese state, keeping up with my son was a pain. I could not play with him for long before getting exhausted. We'd do a little running around in the park or something like that, and then it was, I'm going to sit down and you go run and play. And I still have some of that today. I can play with my kids a lot more. Of course, they're beyond the age where they just want to crawl on dad on the floor, thankfully. My son is 19. That would be a weird game at this point in his life. But when I lost all the weight in 2012, I suddenly realized the real value of getting in better shape. I have a wife. I have now 3 kids. I have a place in this world, specifically in their lives, to be a strong person, physically and of strong character. I am the one who should be the first line of defense if somebody tries to break into our house, if someone tries to harm my wife and kids. Even before I call the cops, I'm going to do what I can to get them out of harm's way. Being physically stronger, being able to run further without getting winded, being able to do these physical things will help with my role as the protector. It will also help in my role as the provider. I think just about every job application I've ever filled out asks the question, are you able to lift 50 pounds repeatedly for several hours? And long ago, the answer for me would have had to have been no. I'm almost 50, and I can confidently answer that question. Yeah, I can do that. Doesn't mean I'll like it. I'm not a fan of manual labor, but I can do manual labor. Getting more fit has opened up more job opportunities for me, which means I have more opportunity to be that provider, to be the head of that household. The other thing that comes to my mind is I want to be healthy so that I live longer for my wife and kids. I don't want to be incapable and unable when they need me. And I do think mostly here of my wife. There will come a point where my kids grow up, they become totally self-sufficient, they move out, get a spouse of their own. That's then on them, but I will still be married to my wife. And I don't know how to say this without it sounding almost like a sinister joke, but I mean this in sincerity. I mean that when we've both lived long, full lives, I hope that God calls her out of this world before he calls me. Because it hurts me to think of her being a widow and having to get through the rest of her life, however long that is, with the pain of having lost her husband. I want to be strong and healthy. I want to stay out of hospitals for obesity-related diseases. I want to have a healthy system that, just keeps me away from the medical community. Nothing against the medical community, but they are people that I hope to never see. And then, the idea of a nursing home or a retirement home where we're watched over by other people, where I can't be the one helping her. I want to avoid all that. I want to be as healthy as I can be, living as long and capably as I can be. And I know 90-year-old men who can still walk around the house, clean up, cook. It's not that they're, spry 20-year-olds, but they are still capable for their wives. And then I know 90-year-old men who can barely get off the sofa. I want to be the first one. I want to be the one who, when Veronica and I are 90, I can say, yeah, I can help with that, and I can get it done. None of those things, the parent, the provider, and the long-term partner, none of those things will be possible if I just let this go to waste, if I just sit around and be lazy, and if I don't take care of it. That doesn't have to necessarily be your primary motivation. I'm here to urge you, if your primary, or even worse, your only motivation is to look good, stop and reevaluate. And I definitely get it while you're younger. When you're single, you're 18, you're 19, the male mind starts looking for a mate. We are wired for that. It's not 100% true. It's not pure science in every human being, but the general trend of humanity is that young men start looking for an appealing young woman to form a life with. And so part of that is the ability to look good and strut your stuff. We see that, in the animal kingdom. And a young woman is looking for a strong and capable and attractive young man. That's just a reality as well. And so you get young guys going to the gym because it's cool. It gets them the testosterone rush. It makes them feel manly, especially in this day and age where over on one side of the political spectrum, men are being shamed simply for being masculine. I'm all for you being masculine. Get to the gym. Build that strong body. But don't make looking great your top priority. In other words, don't do it for you. I can say this about the weight loss and feeling more confident in myself. Yeah, I actually like looking in the mirror more. If you've watched this series enough, I'm past the point of caring whether you see me with my shirt off or less. I still don't, yeah. There's some footage I still cringe and go, oh, I just showed the world that. But I feel a lot better. I'm still not doing it for myself because the confidence that losing weight and getting in better shape has already generated, let alone if I were to get in better shape and get the abs I want and look better and maybe someday still enter a bodybuilding competition, that confidence would actually be serving the greater purpose of being more confident in everything I do, being the parent, being the provider and the partner. I can tell you, when I was in my 30s and fat, I didn't like being around most people, and especially women. I don't know why, but my brain just imagined that when I'm 6'2" and occupying more space than one normal human being, I always just felt like the women in the room were looking at me going, gosh, he's huge. There's no room for the rest of us when he's here. It was a mental thing, but it made me uncomfortable, and it, it did inhibit some of my interactions, some of my ability to do life activities with confidence, things I needed to do. So, I don't know, I've got notes, I've kind of tried to make a point. I'm not here to just scold you and say there is no place in your workout plans for the physical aesthetic appeal. I'm not saying that. I'll say it again. I think this is about the third time now. Don't put it at the top, and don't make it the only thing. Have those bigger reasons. Because when I get to the end of my life, I will be able to say now, I didn't do it for the applause. I didn't do it so that I could get puffed up on the likes and the clicks and all of that, the admirers, the fans. I now have left behind a legacy for my wife and kids where I was there for them, healthy and strong, for as long as I could be. And that will be a far more important memory for them and a far more important aspect of their lives while I'm alive than just, yeah, my dad looks great. Yeah, my husband looks great. So I guess that's what I wanted to say. Don't make it about you. Don't do it for you. There might be a little bit of you along the way, but make those greater purposes about other people. Do it for the people you can serve by having a better body. And you will live a much richer life, a much more meaningful life in the end. I think another part of why I thought of doing this today is because August 12th is my anniversary. Veronica and I are celebrating 24 years so far, and I really do hope to make it a lot more by staying in the best possible shape I can get in. So if you'll excuse me, we're going out to dinner at the Olive Garden. Not the best place to go for losing weight, shoving a bunch of pasta and dessert down your throat. But, every now and then, this is a whole other topic, but every now and then, take that fitness pursuit and give it a day off. And that's what I'm about to do. Gotta go.